Kansas lawmakers heard testimony from advocates of ADRIAN'S law. The bill is named after Adrian Jones, the 7-year-old who was tortured and killed by his dad and stepmom in 2015. It happened in Kansas City, Kansas. ADRIAN'S law would strengthen child abuse reporting laws and ensure those investigating physically visit with the child to ensure their safety. I-Team reporter Jessica McMaster explains why a retired police chief voiced opposition to the bill.
The children suffer the most. They have nobody to go to bat for them, so that's what I'm here to ask you to do for today.
Year after year, Adrian's law is brought up before lawmakers in Topeka, but has never been signed into law. Adrian Jones' grandmother giving her testimony yet again, pleading with those in Congress to act.
I think it's imperative that this Adrian's law is passed to put an extra layer of protection for our children. And I hope and I pray that this is the year that it finally gets passed.
But now there's new opposition, this time from retired Topeka Police Chief Ed Klump.
It requires this contact in every single case without exception, and that's where we have a concern.
Adrian's law would require adults report abuse when they're aware of it or face criminal charges. It also requires the investigating agency physically visit with the child, which includes Kansas Department for Children and Families and police. But Klump says the bill as written is too restrictive.
And the practicality is that can't always happen because of various reasons.
Klump says law enforcement heavily relies on outside agencies to visit with children in need, like child advocacy centers that are trained to speak with children suspected of being abused. Klump gave testimony that police should not be liable for visiting the child just because they're the investigative agency.
There's just a lot of intricacies in these cases that require a lot of fluidity and a lot of ingenuity and a lot of flexibility to be used when we investigate the cases.
But Representative Vic Miller, a one-time municipal judge in Topeka who is familiar with Adrian's case, disagrees with Klump.
I see the problem that right now it's too easy to pass the buck.
Adrian's abuse was documented by social workers and police.
That was one of the big problems, is that Missouri and Kansas officials were bouncing responsibility back and forth, and no one was taking responsibility.
Miller says he can't think of any reason why police shouldn't be liable in cases like Adrian's, and that Klump didn't give one.
I didn't hear anything compelling about his testimony.
Representative RUIZ, who introduced Adrian's law, says he's considering amending the bill to make it more palatable for police, but makes no promises.
We may not be able to, but something needs to be done. We've worked on this for a long time, and this is the year we're going to get it done.
Adrian's grandmother, Judy Conway, is tired of waiting and thinks the bill should pass as is.
It's been such a long time, and it's been just excuse after excuse, and I think it's time for something to happen.
Adrian's law is now up for debate. Representative RUIZ says he will meet with that retired police officer to see if they can come up with an agreement and amend that law. Either way, Representative RUIZ says he's going to do whatever he can to get it passed this year. In Topeka, I'm investigator Jessica McMaster, 31 Action News.